Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast. I am your host, Medusa Asada. I'm here to give air signs a general career reading for this week. Keep in mind, air signs is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate with you, and also this reading will be timeless. I will be pulling energies from the past, present, and future, so just take it however it resonates, only if it resonates. Air signs, if you're interested to see what the cards have in store for you this week, then definitely stay tuned. Okay, air sign. So that is Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. We're going to start off by pulling the external energies that may be affecting you by ways of people, places, or things, situationships, relationships, partnerships, solorships, and note though throughout the reading. I may mention a particular zodiac sign. It may represent you, person of interest, timeline, or influence. So do check your houses if you're into that sort of thing. Make sure you read the description of the episode so you know everything you need to know. And understand that I'm just a regular person who loves to pull cards and interpret it to the best of my ability. So don't ever feel obligated to listen to anything I say. Do your own research. And with all that being said, let's get started. All right. Let's see. Right off the gate, we have here Mambo energy. So it's a magnetic energy. He's very generous. I was going to say Genesis, but it's very generous and it's very much like taking the lead kind of thing. Okay. All right, we have here the Chariot. It's about action. Yes, movement, momentum, triumph, victory. Okay, transcendence of circumstances. This is great. And then we have here a card of healing. Okay, so there is a bit of trouble and worrying energy in regards to a particular loss of some sort, but there is this need for determination and the will to combat the ease, okay, that takes place here. All right, so let's see here. Let's get one more. Okay, but at the end of the day, with this Ochosi card here, we have accumulation. Okay, so making use of things or it will get spoiled here. Okay, so I feel like there is a lot of resources here that a person may not be like thinking in the forefront that they might have. And so it's this energy here of like, hey, like you got these things here, utilize it before time runs out or before, things just, it's like time, like fads run out or whatever. It really feels like the circumstances where it's just like good-hearted, like good intentions, all this kind of stuff but it's like the circumstances, the situations around a person can really bring a person down, which is really interesting because I was going to explain to you guys why I'm here so freaking late, sounding like I need to clear my throat or drink some water or something like that. I've been up because I got caught in this whole whirlpool of like Big Brother. I didn't even know about this show. I knew about Celebrity Big Brother, I think. I think Lamar Odom was on it or something, or Todrick. I think Todrick was on it. And like I just heard about it, but I just never really like looked into it. But this time, for whatever reason, I was really intrigued in regards to investigating what this show is about. And what brought my attention to want to kind of like look into it was this beautiful, gorgeous woman named Taylor Hale and the mistreatment that people were saying that she's receiving and stuff like that. I don't watch the show, so I don't know. But I was like really interested in it, and then I feel like as I'm reading these cards, like it really feels like the situation where like a person has good intentions or means well, but the circumstances, the people around them just wants to bring them down or just twist their words or just like it just really feels like mistreatment, misunderstanding, like it is, and it's even beyond that, right? Because like it just feels like, outside of the whole Taylor thing, it feels like a person who wants to do good or wants to do good for themselves or provide well for themselves in an environment that doesn't allow the ability for productivity or the access to be able to generate these kinds of things. And like it feels like that with this healer card here, right? Because it's about trouble and worrying about loss, right? But there is the determination that really needs to take place. It's about like, regardless of like whatever things, whatever obstacles or roadblocks or like things that kind of keep a person like held back. It's this energy of like, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm still going to keep doing this because I have a purpose, or I feel like I'm meant to do this. And it just kind of goes to show in regards to like people who want to pursue certain things, and then something gets in the way, then they stop, and then they just, like that's just an opportunity, not necessarily wasted, but it's spoiled. Well, and that's kind of sort of the same thing, but it just really feels like it's like a missed opportunity. Whereas like you would have been so amazing doing this thing, but the circumstances put a person in a state of dis-ease, and it caused them to just give up and say, to heck with it. I don't want to do it. And so, yeah, it really feels like that, especially, the energy that I'm getting here as well, where it's just like, there's a lot of people who has a seat at the table that don't necessarily belong there, but they're there because of what's on the table, what they, and how greatly it benefits them, and the easy access they have to the food that's on the table. And then here you are, you literally have a name on the chair, and maybe someone says you can't sit with us, right? Like someone ignorant says you can't sit with us, or you don't belong here, or you didn't get an invite, or whatever the case may be, right? It's just like something as harsh as that, right? Causes a person to say, okay, maybe I don't belong here. And then they miss that seat, right? And someone else can sit there, or that seat is just empty, right? And so like it really feels like a person has the potential to really greatly benefit where in a position or in a place where they actually belong, where they're meant to be, where it's their purpose, and where they will benefit, but also too others around will greatly benefit from your presence. But there's something here that really is, and when we really think about it, what's meant for us is meant for us. The only way that we won't be able to obtain those things is if we decide that we're not going to do that, right? There could be other people that's like, oh no, you can't do that, right? But it's like, no, you have to be willing to put yourself out there regardless of what other people say or what other people do, and stay strong and fight the good fight. Stay determined, right? Combat, right? That feeling of dis-ease, right? Whatever is making a person feel uncomfortable, it's having to kind of combat that. Like, like if you're scared, try, find ways to overcome that fear. If you feel intimidated, find ways to overcome that intimidation. Because, and then also too, with this Chariot here, right? It's about like momentum, right? Like it really feels like God, spirit, ancestors, whatever it is that you believe in, it really feels like it's championing for someone to move forward, okay, to transcend, right, the circumstances, okay, of that feeling, of that troubling feeling, and utilize, okay, the things that you are highly blessed at, right? Put it to use. If someone says no, like you can't do it, then just find a way around, or create your own table. Okay, let's see here. I'm using the Onyx tarot deck. Love these cards. This is actually one of my first tarot cards. No, okay, probably like my third. I think either my third or fourth, but it's one of the ones I've been using in the beginning. Anyways, so let's see what's going on here. To start off, we have the Three of Staffs here and Lil Blade here. Okay, so Lil Blade is Libra energy. Three of Staffs is more so along the lines of, at least for me, the energy that I get in this deck. Okay, the Three of Staffs represent for me the what is it? Is it Nut and Geb? The relationship or the connection or the union between Nut and Geb, and I think that's the air, right? The sky goddess and the land, I think. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that. I mean, I could look it up. So let's see. Let's see if I can do this really quick. Nut and Geb. Yep. That is true. All right. Yes. Okay, so Nut is the goddess and the goddess of the sky. Okay, and then Geb is the god of the earth. Okay, and so I feel like here with this Three of Staffs here next to this little blade, right, it really feels like a child of the cosmos, right? Like, it's like, this is your world, sweetheart. This is your reality, and life is what you make it. So let's make it rock, right? Like, shouts out to Hannah Montana, right? And so, like, I feel like it's really understanding that you're a child of the cosmos. Like, this is your reality. This is what you make it. And whatever it is that you want to do, the universe will protect that and provide. Okay? It will provide for you. Okay? Is that like a lily? Let me see here. Because the way that this lily is protruding from this picture, like it's really making me feel some type of way. So let me see. Purple lily. What does that mean? I want to see. Is this? Yeah, it really feels like that. So let's see. Let's look at these purple lilies. So a symbol of royalty. Like, I can't make this up, okay? It's a symbol of royalty. These are gorgeous flowers. These gorgeous flowers stand for success, pride, admirations, and accomplishments. Like, big up yourself. It's just this energy where, like, even if a person doesn't realize it, right? Or if you just listen to me, you're like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know what you mean, but it's like right here, like we're in the who section. This is who we're talking about here. And it's this energy where it's like mother and father and child with this little blade here. And the feeling that I'm feeling with this little blade and connection with this Three of Staffs is this energy of being able to create and that creation, that thought, right? That gets to be created and formed, like how God did in the beginning of Genesis, where he said things and so it went, right? And that was created, right? Like, it really feels like that, where it's just like you speak things into existence and there's authority here, right? There is no doubt in a person's mind, right, that the universe will provide. And it really feels like that. And it's like the kind of provide that a parent will provide and protect and honor and consider as if they were their own child. Okay. And that's why I feel like so strongly to say it's like child of the cosmos here. Okay. Lil Blade is connected to Libra energy for me. And so Libra energy is very much charming and sociable, right? It's very much along the lines of flirty in the sense that they are very much into experimenting and doing all different kinds of things, which is a great and adventurous and fun, right, way of living sometimes. But also too, that can be very much so open, where a person just becomes so like conflicted with like what it is that a person really truly wants to do. So a person can be very much along the lines of like, one minute they want to do this, and then the next minute they want to try that, and it's very much experimental in that sense. Okay, and so it's this energy that can be a bit of an issue. We'll move forward so we can see exactly what's going on here. Okay, so to clarify, we have here Justice, Libra energy coming through again, and then the Six of Staves. Okay, so very much along the lines of like where everything is just like, it's like so much experimental in that sense. This Justice is like, okay, we need to kind of balance some things out here. Like, let's get leveled with each other and let's figure out what it is exactly it is that we want to do, right? It's no longer along the lines of exploring and all that, and have that kind of like wonder, right? Like childlike wonder. It's more so along the lines of being more composed, more structured, more compact, and saying like, okay, we need to stabilize here. And that comes with a choice, right? That comes with choices. Like, what do you want to do? Like, let's figure it out, right? So it's, it could be like two things, like pick two things that you want to do, and you can dip and dabble into both of those things. But it's really about promotion of success with the Six of Staffs and the ability to celebrate the accomplishments and all that stuff. Okay, it's like late. Oh my goodness. I heard a sound. It was just, And so yeah, like it really feels like in that way where it's just like I did it, right? Like we're at a stage right now with these cards here, air energy. We're at a stage where we want to be able to accomplish things and feel proud of ourselves and feel happy, okay, and really believe, right? And not even that, like have actual proof. Where it's just like, I'm not a loser. I'm not a quitter. I'm not a has-been. I'm not a nothing burger or whatever the case may be. I am somebody. Okay. Like it really feels like that. Okay. But we got to be careful here because we got to ask ourselves, right? Like, what are we doing this for? Okay. I think it has a lot to do with like the journey this far, and that's usually it's usually the case with the Justice, right? Because it also it talks about the journey in regards to like who we were in the past, who we are in the present, and who we can potentially be in the future. I think I've seen someone talk about how the past doesn't define who we are in the present. And it definitely doesn't define who we can potentially be in the future, which I totally understand, and I feel like I agree with that. And I hope I didn't say anything along the lines that kind of contradicts that, because like I feel like that makes sense, right? But I do feel like who we were in the past shapes and molds us into the people that we are today. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that we have to live out that same kind of like pattern. Because I do feel like I have mentioned like before, if a person has a particular past and then they want to change, they can evolve. Everyone evolves, everyone changes, everyone goes through character growths. And so that's what it's all about. And I really feel like with this Justice here, it's also being able to take that into account. Okay, so for some, it could be this energy of wanting to bring more stability, bring more rightness, okay, into a person's life, okay, and just doing what's right for self. Okay, what's on these cards here? All right, let's go. What is the challenge? What is the challenge? The challenge here is young gourd here. Okay, and so to me, that is considered the Knight of Cups. So I feel like when it comes down to this situation, I really feel like in this particular reading, this young lord is symbolizing or is being depicted, through visualization for me, like a person is not satisfied with their journey. Okay, it kind of feels like a person is doing something, right, because someone else told them to, right? So it's like picturing like a person is like miserable at, doing something and then is like, oh, I have to make my parents happy, or I have to make my family happy, or I have to do this um to for whatever reason, right? Even if it's not for other people, maybe a person has convinced themselves that they have to stay here for whatever reason. But with this in the challenge, it really feels like a person is not living in their truth, and they're not being able to express themselves truthfully and even listen to themselves, like listen to how they're feeling, like picking up on those cues and clues and all that stuff like that, where it's just like, I'm not happy here. I don't like what I'm doing. I'm not enjoying my journey in this and the third. Like it really feels a bit emotional in that sense, where it's just like the way that I'm feeling with my life right now and where things are headed or where I'm going, like it really feels like I'm not heading in the direction that I'm meant to head in. It could also to be interpreted as like heading in the right direction, but it's like it's not as fun as I thought it was going to be. And so there may be like a question where it's just like, am I even like, do I actually want to do this? Because I thought that I was going to be at X, Y, and Z, or at this destination by this time, and it's just not working out. It's not panning out. The road ahead is a lonely, bumpy road. I have no GPS or whatever. Like it really feels like what a person is doing, it doesn't really feel pleasant. Okay, so let's see. Oh, no, don't fall. Okay, so overcoming it here, the young coin here. Okay, so that is the Knight of Coins here. And so, okay, I feel like with this being in the position, in the overcoming the challenge, uh, especially the fact that it's in the reverse, it's this energy of not necessarily really um, taking heed to the journey and what it could potentially build, or what a person can potentially grow, how they can grow from this. Okay, like if this is supposed to build character, like a person's not understanding that, or there's no willingness to learn to build character. So usually my Knight of Coins is the paying your dues kind of thing, right? So getting like working hard, doing, like this, like the internship kind of stuff, right? It's like those levels where it's just like they're doing things and then they're not really being paid well, but it's like they're like doing all kinds of like stuff, right? But it's because whether it's pay or whether it's how a person feels like they're being treated or not being acknowledged or whatever, it feels as if like I'm doing all this for nothing. I'm doing all this for free labor. I'm doing all of this and I don't see any benefits happening for me in real time. But like I said before, right, this could be a scenario where a person is doing an internship or whatever the case may be, or they're working for free or whatever. They're not understanding, or they don't see how this is building character or building connections or building a resume or building blocks, right, for a person to level up eventually. So it's this energy of like I don't know if I can finish it. And it's the kind of feeling that I'm feeling right now in this moment, where I feel the need to say, like, our ancestors who built the pyramids, like, of course, when they're like, at the bottom, right? It's like, it seems like reaching the top of the pyramid, like, is there ever going to be an end in sight? Like, it feels like the journey is long. I don't know if I can accomplish this. This is too big of a task, right? It's like this kind of is like that kind of feeling, but it's just like it when it gets done. Oh man, what a beauty. What a beauty. Okay, what a beauty. But it's like a person just doesn't see that. They don't see that because it's like, this is my first brick and I got like a million more to go. Like, it's like it really feels like that. Okay, so let's see here. What's going on here? We're in the what portion of this reading. Okay, so we got 8 of coins here in the reverse. So yeah, like no pay coming through here. Okay, it really feels like, very much in the how can I say this? Not necessarily in the beginning, but it just really feels like resource, like that. How can I say this? Where people have cushions, you know what I'm saying, to kind of like fall back on. There really is no cushion here. The only like true cushion that really a person actually has, it feels like, is this shaman energy, okay, high priestess energy. And it's like, when we're living in like the reality and we're so invested in the reality, our higher selves, right, like the energy of the high priestess, which represents our intuition and all that stuff like that, it doesn't necessarily seem easily attainable, right? Where it's just like, okay, like how, like I have to sit here and I gotta meditate in order to connect to my higher self. Or if a person who doesn't do that or doesn't know how to tap into their higher selves, right, and connect to that landline and like have that conversation like in real time, like at this moment, and have those pep talks. But it's there, but it's like, how do I connect to it? And I think especially too with this young gourd and the challenge is it does show a representation of a person not being spiritually connected with themselves. Okay. All right. We also have here 2 of coins. All right, we also have here Ace of Staffs here in the reverse. So there's a delay here, or there's a disconnect with this Ace of Staffs in the reverse. I feel like when it comes down to this being in the reverse, is this feeling here of not being productive when it comes down to making things happen, okay? Make it happen, Captain. Like, it feels like that, but there's a disconnect. Like, a person doesn't really know how to believe in themselves or even have that personal pep talk, right? And be able to work to actually make those changes when it comes down to creating a different kind of reality for a person, right? It's like when people understand, like when people look at the documentary or read the book called The Secret, or like, the law of attraction or whatever the case may be, it's just like, well, I've read it, but it's not clicking. I just don't understand, right? It could be this energy of being a non-believer, right? It's like, I don't know, I just need something a little bit more concrete, where it's just like, I do, and then, something changes. But it's not like that for, some people, maybe even a lot of people. Like, you have some lucky ones who, they can just make one video, right? And the video goes viral. Like there's people that's been on the platform on YouTube or just any social media for years. And then someone comes in and then it's like they're, like they become viral or whatever the case may be. And, we've heard people, at least I did, like I've heard people talk about these things, and I get it. It's like hard, but that means like a person has to work even harder when it comes down to not just being productive in their reality in order to produce things, right? But it's also too, it's about the mindset. You know what I'm saying? It's the mindset that we have to alter and change as well. Because it's like, if you're going to continue to do, but you're putting yourself down and you just don't believe in yourself because you just don't see the overall big picture and how things can work for you and how things can change for you over time. like if a person doesn't have that much belief in themselves, right? And I feel like that's what that Ace of Staffs in the reverse represents. Not having that fiery passion and that drive and that will, right? To be able to push yourself forward, right? Like not having access or choosing not to gain access or obtain access to things that you possess. And that's what that feels like with this Ace of Staffs, but it's in the reverse. It's like, are we disconnected from it? Are we, like, have we distanced ourselves from it? It's like the spark. It's like magic. Like, where's your magic wand, Harry? Like, it's like that. It's like, where's your magic wand, right? And we need to get a hold of that wand and start making changes, right? Like swish and flick and just change your reality, right? But it's like also too, but it's like you gotta believe, right? Do you believe in fairies? You do, right? Like it kind of feels, it's like, ask yourself, like, do you believe, right? Like that you could build these pyramids? Do you believe that you can change your life and really like be able to bring forth all the things that you desire, all the things that you want, right? It's like, do you believe, right? It's kind of like with Donkey and Shrek. I'm hearing like, I believe, 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 I believe. I believe I'm a believer. Like, it's like, are you a believer? Do you believe in yourself? Like, it's like, do you believe you can change? Do you believe that you can bring forth that balance here and really make it your own thing, right? It's like we were talking about things like being big, right? Like, can we condense those things and can we maintain what we want, right? Are we able to maintain those things and really trust that that thing that we're trying to maintain, it can carry us through, right? It can carry you beyond what you could have imagined, right, when you was in that state of non-belief. Okay. Pisces energy, that was Pisces was the shaman. Yeah. All right, so let's see here. In the past, we have 10 of coins. Okay, Judgment, Sagittarius energy coming through. Let's see. Then we have 10 of gourds. So listen, like this feels really promising here. That's really interesting. 10 on 10 here. Okay. So it really feels like high ideas, high ambitions, like that kind of thing. And with this Judgment here, it's very much focused on like how a person kind of like perceived things, right? How a person perceived things. So it may be like I said before in the past, like this started off as like something like a person was really like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to accomplish this. So they invested in the equipment. They invested in all the things that they needed. And they really felt like this is something that they really judged that this is something that can definitely like bring true happiness, not to themselves, but to, the community or to friends or maybe even to the family or whatever. Like it's something that can like build, right? Like a whole kind of like lifestyle here with this 10 of gourds. Okay, it really feels like an abundance of something and an overflow of something, right? And we tend to have that when we become very much ambitious in a particular dream or in a particular aspiration. But somewhere along the lines here, with this little gourd, this young gourd in the challenge, a person has lost that ability to believe in the all possible, I feel. Let's see. Heart space in the upside down. Okay. Let's see what we got. All right, so the heart space in the upside down, we have the 5 of coins, 8 of gourds. Oh man, yeah, it's like when things don't pan out the way that a person, thinks, right? Like it really feels like a shutdown and a letdown. It really feels like things kind of like hit hard, right? And then the person just kind of like, just kind of like isolates themselves, or they kind of like, they take what little that they were able to receive from it, and they just kind of want to protect it because they're afraid of losing it, right? Because it's like, this is all I have kind of thing, right? It's this energy of like really just like being let down. I feel like being like, it's like, I'm going to take a huge leap, I'm going to risk, my life, I'm going to risk, my lifestyle or my belief or whatever, right? In this like huge like transition or journey. Like, it's like a huge making, like having a huge gamble and then just being let down. That could be a fear, right? That could be a fear for someone. It could also too be this energy here where it's like that something that big of a commitment, right? It doesn't like warrant, or like it doesn't like pan out, right? Well for anybody. So it could be a state of mind that a person starts to believe in, and maybe that came from or stemmed from their childhood, right? Where maybe they were programmed or kind of like put in a position to think that doing something like taking that risk, right? Or believing in something so like huge and life changing, it's like a letdown. Okay. And so it could manifest on the physical by ways of a person being afraid to leave things behind because of the future that is unbeknownst to them, right? It's like, it's not tangible for them. It's like, I can't touch it, I can't perceive it, I can't define it, I don't know exactly what could potentially happen. Okay, so they can be in some way, shape, or form their own negative Nancy and their own Debbie Downers, right? When it comes down to being able to believe in potential futures that will greatly like make their lives better, right? It's more so along the lines of like, but what if it makes it worse? Or what if nothing happens? Or what if I go on to the other side and it's just terrible? What if it's like what those other people said, right? It's like feeling like they're having to escape like a bad condition, right? But they're carrying that state of mind with them. Okay. What comes to mind, which is really interesting, was I think when I was reading American Gods by Neil Gaiman, and he was talking about, well, the whole concept is like when, some gods go to America and then they lose their power, or like they kind of die out, right? Because the people stop believing in them. Like it really feels like that, right? Yeah, like it really feels like that. And I feel like that godliness, right? That God, that concept of God, right? Is the energy or the entity that a person kind of like tries to externalize in order to make it sustainable for the human condition or the human life, right? So it's been said that the mythologies and all that stuff like that were stories that were being relayed, passed down from generation to generation, in order to talk about, the stars, or, the astrology, or the relationship between the sun and the moon, the relationships that we have with ourselves, right? In our soul, right? The story of the soul, the story of the human journey, and all those kinds of things. And it's like when we lose that storytelling, we lose that narrative, we lose a big portion of our lives, and the pieces, feels like it's like pieces of a puzzle that is now missing. And so like a person is kind of like living through life, not necessarily with an identity crisis, even though that might be a thing, because, that's what I was, I wasn't planning on saying, but it just kind of, it just kind of came out. So it could be that. And it could be this energy of like just not knowing, parts of themselves. Okay. I'm cramping up, y'all. Let's keep it pushing. All right, 6 of Blades here in the reverse for the heart space in the upright. Let's see what else we got. Ooh. Ooh, okay, pop a coin, which is Taurus energy, and 3 of Blades. So there's this energy here of recognizing that things will not progress. Things will not move forward until we deal with ourselves. Okay, we deal with ourselves. When we understand the story between Osiris, Set, and Heru, right? That dynamic, right? When it comes down to the human condition, I feel like we can kind of understand how, in a lot of ways, the representation of Set, what that means in regards to the ego, and what that means in regards to just who we are as humans, right? And the battle between ego or our human aspect, and then you with Set, and then you have Osiris, which represents the subconscious mind, and Heru, who represents the conscious mind, right, or just the human self, right? And that is also too the battle between Satan and Jesus, okay? And just the battle between staying on the straight and narrow path and staying focused, okay, and diligent and complete in the mission, okay, but also to being met with the temptation of succumbing to humanity and being sucked into the matrix, right? Sucked into the conditions of society. Okay. I said a lot. What does that mean? When we're more so along the lines of our personal paths, right? In a lot of ways, it's connected to our spiritual paths. We're very much focused. We're very much zoned in. But when we get sucked down into society or into the matrix, right? Or we fall into temptation, we're more so along the lines of living in the world, not of it. We're living in the world, and we're participating in what it is that the world demands of us, right? So it's kind of like a battery. So we kind of like help to regenerate, right, the sustainability, the livelihood of the matrix. But how do we do that, in like this kind of reality, not the movie The Matrix, right? We participate in the distractions. We participate in the hustle and bustle. We participate in the demands of like what society wants of us, what they need from us, what they need to extract from us. So they need our attention. They need us to participate in buying and consumerism and ideal, what is it, ideology, or in regards to whatever it is that they are trying to convert a person into, right? Like, it's like, it kind of feels like that. And no wonder, like, it's like a person feels so like, so like opened, right? Because it's like they're stretching themselves thin, trying to do so many things, right? It's like, but it's like a person needs to be more condensed, more focused, more compact in regards to like what it is that they're truly meant to do, and stay focused and stay the course. It's not an easy thing, right? But it's like the mind, okay? It's all happening in the mind, okay? And when a person, learns to know themselves, right, it solves a lot of their problems, okay? And I feel like the pop of coins here, which is Taurus energy, it's very much that energy of complacency and comfortable in the stubbornness to not want to change and evolve, right, from the conditions that they have placed, themselves in, with this in connection to the 3 of Blades. And that's the energy of falling prey to a kind of energy that doesn't feel deserving of freedom, Like it really feels very much along the lines of confinement, right? To like this just like in a sense, right? Destructive, like a destructive mentality or a destructive way of thinking. Okay. So it's like before I can even get my foot out the door, I'm already saying that it's just, I'm a nobody, right? Like it kind of feels like that. It really kind of, it feels like, it's like it sucks. Like, it's like punishing yourself before you can even like make it out the mud or get it out the mud. I think that's the right saying. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. 6 of Gourds here. Okay, but you owe it to yourself, right? You owe it to yourself to really live out what it is that you're meant to live out here. So we have the 7 of Coins here, 7 of Gourds, 7, 7 here. Okay, it's challenging, right? But we must remain observant, okay, and aware when it comes down to receiving our growth, okay? Pay attention to your emotions here. Look, 777. Hey, lucky number. Okay. Wait, is that how you do that? Like when you do gambling, you do 777. Is that like some kind of win? Okay. Then we have here Papa Blade. Okay, Aquarius energy coming through. Okay, it's very much individual. Okay. And if you've listened to any of my previous episodes, then you understand the breakdown that I interpret when it comes down to the King of Swords energy. It's very much along the lines of living, you're of the world, but you're not in it. Okay. Wait. Okay. I'm sorry. I said it wrong. You're in the world, but you're not of it. Oh my goodness. What is going on with me tonight? What is this? Is it in the worlds but not of it? Yeah. Okay, so I mixed that up. So John chapter 17 verse 15 through 21, it says, in the world but not of the world. I do not ask thee to take them out of the world, but to keep them from the evil ones. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Okay, so I feel like when it comes down to this is really interesting. This is my first time actually reading it. It says, what does it mean to be in the world, but not of the world? How can I live like Jesus wants me to? So be in the world, but not of the world is a phrase that is heard a lot in Christian subculture. It refers to what Jesus said as recorded by one of his close friends in John. Okay, but can we get the meaning? Okay. It says, they are not of the world. Okay, I just wish I can kind of get like a meaning, because we're kind of running out of time here. Okay. All right. So I said it, I mixed it up earlier. So it's being in the world, but not of it. Okay. So let's see. What does it mean? What does it mean? Hopefully we can get. All right. So, okay. Oh my goodness. Come on. All right. So let me see. We're set apart from the wickedness of the cosmos as we seek to live a holy, righteous life. Okay. The system of the world is ruled by Satan. We really don't want to be a part of that world. Okay, that's what it says. Sin has no power over us, and we don't have to be trapped by the evil principles of the world. Even more awesome is that belief in Christ causes us to change. Our hearts will be less interested in the things of the world as we strive to be more like Jesus. Now, when we think about Jesus Christ, Jesus, could also to represent the Christos. The Christos is our Christ conscious, right? So it's like the pineal gland. So consciousness, enlightenment and all that stuff like that. So it's just being more so focused on those lines. And what the page of what Papa Blade represents is the person who understands that concept, the person who is able to also to live by that code. Okay. And so it really kind of feels like that. A person is going through a phase of really just trying to understand that this is not like this is not, how can I say this? This is not, whatever it is that you're doing, this is not it feels like. And it really, like, there's more to come when a person realizes, right, that they are beyond this. Okay, so don't get caught up or wrapped up, right, in this being the only thing, right, because you're so much specialer than that, right? It just really feels like someone who is just like a child of the cosmos comes down here and experience, but then they forget who they are. They forget their power. They forget how important they are because they're just so consumed by worldliness. Okay. So we're going to take a little bit of a break and then we'll come back with the advice from Spirit because my time is almost running out. All right. So air signs, we're running out of time soon, so we got to make it quick. All right, so air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. What is going on here? So we have appreciation, pride, and thoughtfulness. So let's do thoughtfulness. Okay, let's see what we got for you guys. I hate when I have to rush through and I feel so bad. So it says here, thoughtfulness should be an easy thing to accomplish as we spend most of our waking hours thinking about things. And yet many thoughts fly through our minds uninvited and unnoticed. This card challenges you to pay more attention to the thoughts in your head. Be mindful of how you think about yourself and others. Pay close attention to the language you use in your self-talk. Being aware of what is going on in your head is the best step to discovering who you are. It also helps you assess the way you handle yourself and your thoughts about people and situations. Choose your thoughts carefully and mold them into a more positive dialogue with yourself. And then we have some questions here. What did I think about today? How do I talk to myself? Oh my God, this is amazing. And really, like, try and say it as quick as I can. One of the headlines here was saying, don't start worrying. You do have a choice. Okay. It says, before you start worrying about measuring up, stop and listen. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I gotta keep going. There's another one here that says you are a representation of another world. Okay. That said, we don't want to get all self-righteous either. We are like ambassadors, okay, visiting a world that is not our home. Yeah, okay, so that's what I was trying to say before, showing people how amazing our real home world is and inviting them to come back with us, all right? We also have here, don't hate this world. Keep in mind that just because this world is not our home, that doesn't mean we should despise it. We should still enjoy the world, such as the beautiful creation God is giving us. Okay, so yeah, like it really feels like that as well. Okay, let's do the crystal / gemstone cards. All right, that's a lot. Okay, so let's see here what we can do. It says here, Bumblebee Jasper, so pollination, willpower, new ideas. So sing like a bee, Bumblebee Jasper enhances creativity and helps to pollinate ideas, bringing them to life. The stone gives off a fighting spirit, having been formed in a volcano and containing a strong earthy energy that connects with the willpower of the solar plexus. Bumblebee Jasper also assists in alleviating allergies, soothing irritations, and nurturing one's overall health. Bumblebee Jasper encourages you to create a buzz. Let yourself be seen and heard for who you are and whatever new projects you're working on. Take pleasure in your gifts. So Leo and Sun. We also have here pink halite. So it says here self-love, replenish, and cherish. Vibrating with love, pink halite allows you to shed layers of negative thought patterns and beliefs as you connect to the essence of your true self. Pink halite helps you embrace new spiritual practices as a way of life, preventing you from picking up bad habits to begin with. With this stone, you will make choices out of self-love, honoring the highest version of yourself and trusting that you will make decisions for your highest good. pink highlight is a natural form of the mineral salt known to cleanse toxins from the aura and replenish one's energy fields. So we have here Cancer, Pisces, and Earth. Okay, we also have here, lastly, we have desert rose. So time travel, ancestral healing, and patience. A natural beauty, desert rose and its petals were patiently etched by the sand, carrying with them a special message that good things take time. Desert rose promotes mental clarity by releasing negative belief systems that no longer serve you. Desert rose has the special power of time travel and is able to heal past wounds that still affect you today and alleviate pain from this lifetime or past life. Use this stone to connect with your ancestors or past lives you need to reconcile with. So Scorpio and Pluto. All right, now we're going to close this out with a self-care card. All right. All right, so we got a lot here. Okay. So we have here meditate, all right? Get some sweet treats, take a walk, do some sound healing. We also have here clear your energy field, flow like water, ground yourself, be still, and clean your space. Okay. We did. All right, so that is all that I have for you air signs out there this week. Good luck to you all in your amazing journeys. I hope I was able to help you all in any way, shape, or form. Until next time, peace.